Good morning, students. How are you? Let us start with the remaining portion of human digestion and absorption vitamins. In the last lecture, we have studied what are vitamins, types of vitamins. The vitamins are of organic substances. These are micronutrients and trace elements but essential nutrients. Body require continuously vitamins. There are two sources of vitamins to our body. One is diet, second one is bacteria. Why organisms required vitamins? Vitamins play very important role in metabolic activities and growth and sound health. So let us continue with vitamins like B complex vitamins, biotin. Biotin is B7 sources. In which sources biotin vitamin is available? Biotin is available in egg yolk, meat, milk, honey, liver and fish. These are the various sources of vitamin biotin, and its deficiency leads to weakness of the body, general weakness, loss of muscular control, and hair fall, and the loss of appetite. Loss of appetite. Appetite means hunger. Loss of appetite, hair fall, loss of muscular control, and general weakness and poor growth. These are the deficiency symptoms of biotin. Next vitamin, folic acid. Folic acid, it is vitamin B9. Vitamin B9, the important sources of folic acid are the green leafy vegetables. So in all green leafy vegetables, folic acid is available. It is required for function. The main function of the folic acid vitamin is it helps in production of RBC. Production of RBC, red blood cells. And it also increases appetite. Appetite means hunger. And its deficiency, the deficiency of vitamin folic acid causes megaloblastic anemia. What is megaloblastic anemia? In the deficiency of folic acid, bone marrow produces large, immature, abnormal RBC. Abnormal RBC. So here the RBC are structurally abnormal. So immature RBC are produced by the bone marrow in this megaloblastic anemia. Then the next vitamin B12. We have already studied about vitamin B12. Castor intrinsic factor produced by the parietal cells of gastric glands increases reabsorption of vitamin B12. The vitamin B12 chemically called as cyanocobalamin. It is cobalt containing vitamin. So castor intrinsic factor is a glycoprotein produced by the parietal cells of gastric glands, they increases the absorption of vitamin B12 from the gastrointestinal tract. And the sources of vitamin B12, it is reported in spirulina. Spirulina is an alga, it is alga, and it also available in animal sources like liver, meat, milk, egg and fish. And vitamin B12 also synthesized by bacteria. As I told you already, the E. coli bacteria present in the large intestine synthesizes certain vitamins like vitamin B1, B2, vitamin K and vitamin B12. And the functions of vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 play a very important role in proper functioning of a neurological system. It also play a role in production of RBC. Production of RBC and proper functioning of a neurological system. And one more thing, it's a deficiency. It's a deficiency leads to pernicious anemia. Pernicious anemia. Pernicious anemia is different from a megaloblastic anemia. The megaloblastic anemia caused by the deficiency of folic acid, but here the pernicious anemia caused by the deficiency of vitamin B12. In this pernicious anemia, general weakness, muscle fatigue. Fatigue means tiredness, muscle fatigue. Nerve injury, depression, mental confusion, these are the various symptoms in this pernicious anemia. Next vitamin is vitamin B17. The vitamin B17 is Leetriol. Its chemical name is Leetriol. The main source of vitamin B7 is wheat grass juice. Wheat grass juice is the main source of vitamin B17. The main function of vitamin B17 is it has anti-cancer property. Anti-cancer property. It fight against with cancers, development of the cancers. And the next vitamin. So with this B complex vitamins are completed and the remaining vitamin comes under water soluble is vitamin C. Vitamin C. The vitamin C is chemically called as ascorbic acid. It is chemically called as ascorbic acid. And the main sources of vitamin C is, it is chiefly available in citrus fruits. Guava, amla, lemon, orange. So it is mainly available in citrus fruits. And functions. The vitamin C play a very important role in production of RBC. You know, the production of RBC is nothing but erythropoiesis. It play a very important role in erythropoiesis. And the next thing, it also helps in the production of antibodies. Production of antibodies. Production of antibodies means it play a role in immunity. And one more thing, it play a very important role in the proper formation of bones, teeth, gums. Bones, teeth and gums. Vitamin C deficiency leads to a disorder called scurvy. Scurvy is a disorder caused by the deficiency of vitamin C. In this scurvy, bleeding from gums. Bleeding from gums, teeth gums. So from the gums, bleeding takes place, and it also causes general weakness, fatigue, and no wound healing. It is very important thing. No wound healing. Vitamin C play very important role in wound healing. But which vitamin play role in blood clotting? Vitamin K. But here the vitamin play very important role in wound healing. So in the deficiency of vitamin C, there is no proper wound healing. And James Lind in 1753 discovered the cure for scurvy. He reported that eating of citrus fruits can prevent the disease that is scurvy. So the scurvy can be prevented by taking citrus fruits. And one more thing, alcoholics. Alcoholics are a sort of vitamin C. So in the people who are taking alcohol may suffer with vitamin C deficiency, because the alcohol disturbs vitamin C metabolism in the liver, and the only hormone which is excreted through the urine is vitamin C. The hormone which is excreted along with the urine is vitamin C, not a hormone, vitamin C. Vitamin C is excreted along with the urine. So far we have discussed about vitamins and some more important points from human digestion and absorption. Excess amount of glucose, fructose and galactose are usually stored in the liver and muscle cells. Liver and muscle cells. Next, Budd-Chiari. Budd-Chiari is a disease of liver. Is a disease of liver. In this disease, enlargement of liver occurs. Enlargement of liver occurs. What is the main effect in this Budd-Chiari disease? Hepatic vein carries deoxygenated blood away from the liver. In this disease, the hepatic vein is occluded, so it leads to enlargement of the liver. Next point, liver receives oxygen-rich blood via hepatic artery. Hepatic artery, and it receives deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood rich in nutrients. Rich in nutrients via hepatic portal vein. Hepatic portal vein. What is a portal vessel? Portal vessel is defined as the vessel which begins with the capillaries and ends with the capillaries. So it is named often in which organ it ends. If the portal vessel ends in liver, that is called as a hepatic portal vein. If it ends in the kidney, that is called as renal portal vein, like that. These are often named. Hepatic portal vein is the connecting link between alimentary canal and liver. So the liver receives deoxygenated blood rich in nutrients via hepatic portal vein, and the hepatic vein carries deoxygenated blood. Carries deoxygenated blood from liver. From liver to heart, because it is a vein. Carboxypeptidase. Carboxypeptidase, it is the enzyme of pancreas, pancreatic juice. Then aminopeptidase. Aminopeptidase is the enzyme of intestinal juice. Intestinal juice. These two are proteolytic enzymes, but generally referred as exopeptidases. Exopeptidases. Here, the proteolytic enzymes are of two types: endopeptidases, exopeptidases. What is meant by exopeptidase? The enzymes which can break down peptide bonds at the terminal ends of the polypeptide chain. The terminal ends. Come to next one, endopeptidase. Endopeptidase. Endopeptidase is the enzyme which can break down the peptide bonds at the center of the polypeptide chain. Example for endopeptidase is trypsin. Trypsin also a proteolytic enzyme of a pancreatic juice. Bilirubin and biliverdin. Bilirubin and biliverdin are the bile pigments which are produced from iron part of hemoglobin. Because hemoglobin has two components. Heme is iron part, globin is a protein part. So these bile pigments are produced from the iron part of hemoglobin. And the next point is appendicitis. You know, in this appendicitis usually caused by the bacterial infection. So there is a rupture of appendix wall. There is a rupture of wall of appendix. Appendix is the abdominal tonsil. It is a vestigial organ. Appendix. So due to severe infection, the wall of the appendix is released and the bacteria, wall of the appendix is ruptured and the bacteria is released into the coelomic cavity. Severe infection may lead to death. So the doctors removed appendix by surgery. This is generally called as a 24 hours stomach pain. Next, hernia. What is hernia? In this hernia is a disease. In this, the small intestine protrudes into inguinal canal. Inguinal canal. The inguinal canal, it is a connecting link between abdominal cavity and scrotal sac. So the small in this hernia, the small intestine protrudes into inguinal canal, may in turn protrudes into scrotal sac also. Then the person gets a severe pain in the lower abdominal cavity. Next, cholecystectomy. Cholecystectomy means removal of gallbladder. Removal of gallbladder. Then cholecystitis. Cholecystitis means inflammation of gallbladder. Inflammation of gallbladder. And one more thing, hepatectomy. What is hepatectomy? Removal of liver. Removal of liver. And a common bile duct. Common bile duct also named as ductus choledochus. Ductus choledochus, it is the another name of common bile duct. The common bile duct leads into pancreatic duct near the duodenum. And next, heartburn. What is heartburn? You know, the powerful peristaltic movements that takes place inside the stomach, that is nothing but churning movements. The churning movements are caused by the muscular layer present on the wall of the stomach. During the churning movements or mechanical digestion, the cardiac sphincter and the pyloric sphincter are usually remain closed. Sometimes during digestion inside the stomach, if the cardiac sphincter relaxes or opens, the acidic gastric contents may regurgitate into the esophagus and it may cause heartburn near the heart. But actually it is the effect inside the esophagus. Next, basal metabolic rate. Basal metabolic rate, it is simply abbreviated as BMR. What is basal metabolic rate? The minimum amount of energy required to maintain the body at rest or sleep. The minimum energy requirement to maintain the body at rest or sleep is called as basal metabolic rate. It is about 1600 kilocalorie per day. So 1600 kilocalorie per day, it is the minimum amount of energy required to maintain the basal metabolic rate, which is measured by spirometer. Spirometer. Now routine metabolic rate. Routine metabolic rate, RMR. What is routine metabolic rate? The amount of energy required for moderately working person. The amount of energy required for moderate work which is performed by a person is called as a routine metabolic rate. For adult men, 2800 kilocalorie of energy is required per day for doing moderate work. For adult women, it is of 2200 kilocalorie per day. And the next point is achalasia cardia. Achalasia cardia. What is achalasia cardia? In achalasia cardia, there is a failure of cardiac sphincter immediately after swallowing. After swallowing, the food enters into the esophagus, then the cardiac sphincter relaxes. So slowly the food from the esophagus enters into the stomach if cardiac sphincter is relaxed. But in this condition, the cardiac sphincter is failed to relax. So the food is going to accumulate in the esophagus and leads to dilation of the esophagus. Next thing, achlorhydria. Achlorhydria, it is a condition. What is achlorhydria? It is a condition in which hydrochloric acid is not secreted. Hydrochloric acid is not secreted by stomach. Then what are the effects in this achlorhydria? There is no conversion of inactive enzymes like pepsinogen into pepsino. There is no killing of bacteria. There is no maintenance of acidic pH. Then the protein digestion is disturbed. Students, so far we have discussed human digestion and absorption. The lesson is over. So please watch the video and write down the running notes, and today itself I will send you some practice sheets on human digestion and absorption. Thank you.